Welcome to Euro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, and I'm like 99% sure that's how you say it, and if I'm wrong, I do apologize, but that's how it's going to be for the rest of the video. But as far as our opening hand goes, let's get that out of the way. We've got two mana dorks, and if we hit a green source, I love this hand, but that's going to be, what's going to happen is we won't hit a land until like turn 5, so let's just go ahead and mulligan. I'm not super wild about keeping that one, and let's go one more go. And we will keep on this one because we have 3 lands. Let's put 2 cards on the bottom of our library. What's really going to help us kind of get some good action going is at least holding on to the 3 lands and 1 Power Stone. So I guess we put Sudden Reclamation on the bottom. And then I guess we kind of put Ponder. I mean, I'd like to have Ponder. Well, actually, we could put Thirst for Knowledge. We can draw 3 cards, discard 2 cards. Yeah, let's just put Ponder on the bottom and just click OK. I think that'll be good. So we've got 3 lands. We've got 1 Power Stone. Then we have Thirst for Knowledge, is going to allow us to kind of fuel our graveyard. So hopefully we can make something work from this. But yes, welcome. Hope you're excited about the new Titan. Oh, and then we run into Tropical Island. I'll take it. Let's have Scalding Tarn come down. Let's go ahead and crack Scalding Tarn. Grab ourselves a Breeding Pool. Have that come into play tapped. Not going to pay 2 life. Nope, we are good. And then anything else, pass the turn to our opponent. So let's go and cover our commanders. We're playing Euro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. Whenever Euro enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escaped. Whenever Euro enters the battlefield or attacks, gain 3 life, draw a card. Then you may put a land card, a Grothian, yeah, it's ramping up. I think I've played against our opponent's Estrid deck, and my win percentage is just horrible. Gain 3 life, draw a card. Then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Then escape for double green, double blue, and a Wayward Swordtooth. So nothing else that we just need to do. So we'll just go for Tropical Island just in case we run into some sort of green requirement. Draw, who knows, and then we pass the turn. So playing gets Estrid, +2, untap each enchanted permanent you control. Then for a -1, create a white aura enchantment token named Mass attached to another permanent. That token has enchant permanent and totem armor. Then for a -7, put the top 7 cards of your library into your graveyard. Return all non-aura enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then do the same for aura cards. So we'll give a shout out to our sponsors in just a second. So our opponent's actually not going to let their Grothian Enchantress swing in, which is kind of a bummer. I always like to let, if I'm playing Enchantress and we have a 0/1, I like to let her swing in every once in a while. You know, it gets kind of boring just sitting there drawing cards. So I guess we could go Worn Power Stone, but I think kind of Wayward Swordtooth sounds like a pretty good play. And we could go for Euro. But yeah, let's go Wayward Swordtooth. Let's get this Simic ramp going, and we'll kind of be talking about what this deck has available. Let's go and crack Catacombs. We're going to grab ourselves a Forest, and then anything else pass the turn to our opponent. So we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you want to be one of the people that holds Euro in the whatever kind of parade we've got, like the Macy's Day Thanksgiving parade, there's a lot of people that hold those chains to make sure that Euro doesn't escape and fly away and fly into a magic building. Head over to MTGOTraders, sign up. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. Inkgaming.com/Jolt will apply the coupon code, and if you haven't treated yourself in a long time, make sure you head on over there. They've got a lot of good stuff that you can treat yourself with. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So there we go. Link is down in the description below. Let's have Island enter the battlefield. So we have Worn Power Stone, and we also do have Thirst for Knowledge. I think if we're trying to keep up with our opponent, they've got a lot of card draw with enchantments. I really do think that we just need to outramp our opponent if that's what we're going to be going for. So let's have Worn Power Stone come down, and then anything else pass the turn to our opponent. Because now we're getting into a position to where we can actually just Blue Sun Zenith some really nice cards into our hand, and then kind of go from there. But yes, it is officially free time. Let's have some fun. And by having fun, we're going to be talking about what is going on with this deck. So as far as Euro, what we're trying to do is, this is kind of like an Unbound Flourishing style deck. You know, definitely sound the Simic alarms. That's what's going on. Return, draw 3 cards, and discard 4 cards. Okay. Just there's a lot. I just have. It's kind of like it's like you just have this feeling of dread overcoming you when you're playing against like a double Enchantress piece, which is just like, oh no. Let's see if we can make this work. But yeah, it's Unbound Flourishing. We'll kind of talk about that more here in just a second. So we do have a Blue Sun Zenith for 4. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, which doesn't sound that bad. You know, our opponent is tapped out. We are playing its advance, so we'd have to worry about a counter spell. We don't have an extra land drop to make. Yeah, put a land. So I think we might just Blue Sun Zenith to see if we can make a few extra land drops. So let's go and target ourselves. The good thing about the Zenith is it will shuffle itself back into the library, and this is pretty much what we're wanting to do. We did have to mulligan down. We want to cash in some card draw, and yes, we did. For a second, I was like, oh no, did we click on our opponent's profile? Because that could have been pretty bad. Okay, there we go. Hit a land. Let's go Harbor. And that does put us on Mystical Tutor for grabbing some sort of instant. We might, now that I think about it, we might go for the, yeah, while they're tapped out. Let's just wait. Let's just go and pass the turn. And we're getting really close to City's Ascension. We have to be. Let me see. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we're 8. We're 2 away from getting that Ascension going. So, and our opponent's going to go for Seal of Primordium, which is not a bummer. You know, we got to cash in a Blue Sun Zenith. So if they want to pop Worn Power Stone, they certainly can. But that's not the end of the world for us. But with Mystical Tutor, we'll probably end up grabbing Nayela's Intervention, which is going to allow us to grab a lot more lands. Then we can start to go for these Euro activations, getting these extra land drops and getting extra land drops with Wayward Sword too. So, all right, so they do end up popping our Worn Power Stone. Now, as far as the deck goes, you know, this is a definitely Sound the Simic Alarms ramp deck. We're trying to get as much value on the battlefield as possible and get as much ramp on the battlefield as possible. And let's just go and just go for this Mystical Tutor. That way we can yield through all these triggers. And let's go Mystical Tutor. Yeah, because I think that's going to be the best bet because we just want to get ahead on mana as quickly as possible. So we're going to grab that Intervention and then let them do their thing. So, but yeah, it's kind of like an Unbound Flourishing deck. You know, I didn't really know where to take Euro this time around because it is so easy to fall into like a Simic, not necessarily Simic trap, but, you know, just building a Simic good stuff deck and calling it a day. And so, having the opportunity to make extra land drops, especially out of the command zone, I was like, well, let's see if we can't build some sort of. I built Damia Unbound Flourishing, where we really take advantage of Villainous Wealth, different things like that. And so that's kind of the same concept that we're going for. So we have probably about 6 to 7 X spells in the deck that allow us to do something kind of impactful whenever it enters the battlefield. So let's say that you saw that Blue Sun Zenith earlier. In addition to these X spells and Unbound Flourishing, we're also running some really nice mana producers. We've got the new Nyx Bloom Ancient in here. We've got Zendikar Resurgent. We've got Mana Reflection. And what these are going to allow us to do is just, in addition to the land drops that we're making, tap for extra mana, you know, because being able to turn your lands into a like an Ancient Tomb for colored mana is a very nice feeling, and that's what we're trying to go for. So, all right, we draw into Nayela's Intervention, and I think at this point we're just going to go ahead and grab this. I think that sounds like a pretty good plan. And then we're going to start going for, because this could be 1, 2, 3, 4. That's at least going to allow us to grab 4 more lands. Yes. And that'll still actually allow us to go for Growth Spiral, which would be pretty good. So let's go for Intervention. There we go. We do have Dark Depths and Thespian Stage in here as an option. So we might end up grabbing that if we want to have some fun. But Guy's Cradle is going to tap down for 1. Yeah, I'm just worried about just like a random Oblivion Ring from our Enchantress opponent. So, I mean, as much as I'd like to go for Dark Depths, I think we might end up passing on that, at least at this point right now. So, let's see what we want to grab. Let's grab Ancient Tomb. Let's grab Castle Vantress, because that's going to be some scry action that we can go for. And we do have an island. We'll grab Castle Vantress. Let's grab Field of the Dead. That way we can start to really kind of build up a board state to kind of fight some of these low-to-the-ground creatures our opponents have. And we need to grab one more. And if we're going Field of the Dead, why not just go and grab Guy's Cradle? I think that's a very nice value pile. And we actually have 1, 2, 3... 4, 5. We've got 5 different lands, and that's going to be 6, 7. So, in fact, let's go ahead and go for that. Let's have Field of the Dead come down. And if we have this happen, what's going to end up happening is that we're still going to get the zombie. We can at least tap down Guy's Cradle for 2, which is nice. And then we'll kind of bounce back from that. So now that we've getting some zombies on the battlefield, we've got City's Blessing we can block. We're in a good spot to where we can just kind of hit it on cruise control and just kind of go from there. So anything else? There's no planeswalkers we really need to swing into, so I think we're just going to go and pass the turn to our opponent and then slowly kind of build up our board state. So, but yeah, this is pretty much what we want to do. You know, it's turn 6. We've got a lot of mana with Guy's Cradle. We've got Field of the Dead and Guy's Cradle available to us. Like I mentioned, we could have gone for Dark Depths and Thespian Stage, but when you're playing against Enchantress, you know, there's there's a ton of options for them to go for. Just right there, something like Control Magic. They gain control of Merit Lage, and that's not good for us. So um, I feel like we can just be a little bit better if we ended up going Field of the Dead, because at the end of the day, if we need to grab 2 lands that allow us to build up a board state, zombie tokens actually help us go, man, I feel like our opponent's setting up a reanimator or something out of the graveyard. So it's like we got a storm coming and I just don't feel good about it. So, but yeah, outside of the Unbound Flourishing, yeah, it's always just when you get all this stuff in the graveyard, you're like, oh man, that's some pretty gnarly stuff. Let's see what's going to happen. But this is pretty much what the game plan wants to do. We want to make some extra land drops. So now that we've gotten to the point where we've got a lot of extra mana, one of the things that we are looking for to try to close the game out is we want to find an X-Spell, Unbound Flourishing, and then just one of our mana enablers, Zendikar Resurgent, Nyx Bloom, and different cards like that. But at the core of the deck, it's really fun. I was really excited about it to kind of get it going, and Tamiyo is just such an all-star in this deck. That +1 is really going to help that escape cost, and at the same time, just being able to just look at the top 4 cards of your library and grab what you want is a very good feeling. And then just other really good options like the Thirst kind of cycle, and then Frantic Search, draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you hit an enchantment card or something like that. That's really just going to help you kind of push your game plan. So we haven't seen Estrid come down. Our opponent's really just mowing through their libraries. So we'll see what's going to happen. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's just say 7 mana, 8, 9, 10. Like 11, 12, 13. So we potentially have like 13 mana for next turn, which is pretty decent. So as long as we don't get enchanted out somehow. Yep, that's what I was thinking. All right, so we got Replenish coming out. Let's see. Yeah, I saw those discards going, and that wasn't looking so hot. So, yep. All right, there we go. I told you, we've played against our opponent's deck before, and this thing is gnarly. Okay, I don't even know what happened. So did they have our lands over there? Is that, or maybe those are, no, that's their breeding pool. Okay, good. They didn't steal our lands. They did steal, but yeah, long story short, I'll probably end up posting this video, but you can see what we're trying to do on our side is we did very good. Turn 6, we had a lot of good stuff going. And so Opulence, yeah. So here's the deal with Opulence. Each of the non-enchantment base, it's equal to its mana cost. So with our lands turning into creatures, there's nothing that we can really do. They all died, and then all we have is a zombie. That's a Song of the Dryad. Thankfully, we can tap down for one, but we still have the City's Blessing though. But this is not going to get it done. So I'm gonna go and scoop this one up. Good game to our opponents. It's always fun to see really cool things like that happen. I enjoy playing Aristocrats with Living Death, and I know our opponent, if they can set up a Replenish that closes the game out, that's probably a good feeling for them. So we got to talk about the deck a little bit, and if you enjoyed the video, especially if you're an Enchantress player, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. Welcome to Thunder Thryx. As far as our opening hand goes, we've got 3 lanes. We got Jace's Ingenuity. Well, let's see. Do we want to mulligan for like some mana rocks? We just don't really have card advantage. I mean, we got Jace's Ingenuity, which is nice, but if we don't get to that 5, yeah, we'll go and keep on this one. Yeah, let's keep on. I just recorded a game with Thryx where we kept 1 lander with Brainstorm, and that man, that did not work out well at all. So to that previous Animar opponent, I'm very sorry. So yeah, we're gonna keep on this one. Hopefully we just get to that 5 mana that will allow us to go for Jace's Ingenuity. We've got a counter spell, and we've got 2 late game options, extra turn, and send everything back to our opponent's hand. And so yeah, there we are. We're almost all the way to Jace's Ingenuity. So we will keep on this one. So it's gonna lead off with well, we've already capped, but I feel better now. All right, so anything else, let's just go ahead and pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Thryx, the Sudden Storm, Flash and Flying. Spells you cast with converting mana cost 5 or greater, cost 1 less to cast, and can't be countered. Playing gets Nekusar, the Mind Razor. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. Then whenever an opponent draws a card, Nekusar, the Mind Razor deals 1 damage to that player. And I'm actually really excited because Nekusar magic is some good magic. All right, and then, oh, look. Do these islands match? Oh, yeah, they do. Look at that. All right, so it's going to lead off with Island. And then anything else, let's just go and pass it back over to our opponent. So we've got Memory Lapse up. We'll be able to counter something if we need to. Both of us are playing pretty honest Magic right now. None of us have fast mana, no Signets, no Mana Crypts, no Soul Rings. And so thankfully this Memory Lapse will be able to hopefully kind of grab something a little bit rough. You know, let's say they have some sort of enchantment they want to get down that helps. Dark Steel, do we have a memory lapse on that? Put it on top of their library. Yeah, I think we're okay with that. Because that basically just kind of burn them out a turn, and it's going to go back on top of their library. So yeah, I kind of like that. So we're going to counter memory. We're going to counter their Dark Steel. It's going to go back on top, and that's going to allow us to make an extra land drop, and then just kind of see what we cash into as far as next turn goes. And then I'll finish up. Oh, Mystic Sanctuary. So that is online unless you have 3 or more islands. So let's just have Island come down. That way, if we want to, we can put Memory Lapse back on top, and then we pass the turn to our opponent. So we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you want to be a weather person who's going to predict the storms coming in, mainly just predicting Thryx, because he's a sudden storm, and it's really bad for the website servers when he comes in. So we're looking for people to predict the weather. That way, if we see a cold front coming, we can see Thryx coming, and we can kind of accommodate for that. So if that's like something you want to do, head over to MTGOTraders. We need some smart people over there. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com /Jolt. You can get anything off the website and support the channel at the same time, which is very nice. So let's lead. I guess technically we don't really need memory lapse that bad. So let's just go island at this point right now. And we can't go for Dawson, and then we're just going to go and pass the turn. But yes, check out Ink Gaming in addition to MTGOTraders. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to contribute to the Patreon, there's a link down in the description below. You get your name at the beginning or the ending of the credits to help support cool content like this. And if you can't do that, hey, no problem. Just tell somebody about the channel. Or let's say you need to get your hands on some of these sweet tokens. I try to do a token drop each month. If you would like to be automatically entered into the giveaway each month, make sure that you're a patron of my Patreon. And last but not least, I have a Discord that is totally free. Doesn't matter if you, well, it does matter as long as you're just a nice person. That's it. That's all we're looking for. If you're nice and you want to talk some magic, hey, you've got it. So, all right, Pote's going to lead off with Nekusar, and that feels pretty good. I'm really going to dig that. So we've got, well, we don't have a counter magic at this point right now. We'll see what we draw into, but I'm really digging this setup right now, especially with there's no wheel effects, there's no Megrim, there's no Liliana's Caress, anything like that. So I'm digging what's going on right now, and I'll kind of talk about the trick to playing against Nekusar here in just a second. So let's go ahead and lead off with, actually probably more counter. Well, memory lapse in this particular matchup may not be that good. So let's lead off with Inventor's Fair. And then let's just go ahead and pass the turn over to our opponent. So what we're going to do right now is we're just going to leave up Thryx, and then at the same time we can leave up Delay. One of the main things that you want to do to stop Nekusar is, it's just kind of like a battle, especially in 1v1 commander. It's just a battle of card advantage. Who can take advantage of extra card draw quicker than the other person. So as long as we can take advantage of that card draw from Nekusar quicker than our opponent, we should be able to close the game out. One of the things that we are looking to stop is going to be wheel effects, stuff that make wheel effects even that much better. Let's say you have Nekusar on the battlefield, you go for Wheel of Fortune, that's 7 damage to us, pretty cool. But if you have Megrim on the battlefield, whenever an opponent discards a card, they also lose 2 life. So next thing you know, that Wheel of Fortune turns into, let's say we have 7 cards in the hand, discard that's 14, and then draw 7 damage from Nekusar. I mean, that's 21 damage. So kind of the choke point is going to be making sure that the enchantments stay off the battlefield. That's going to be one of the main points. And we did get an old Nekusar swinging in for 3. Normally he doesn't like to get his hands dirty, but that was him coming in. So opponent's going to go for Is It Signet, which we're fine with Is It Signet, and then Mana Crypt, yeah, sure, go for it. And even though we're going to take some damage off of Jace's Ingenuity, we might end up going for that instead of Thryx. I mean, Thryx does kind of help us get our spells out a little bit quicker, but I'm not entirely sure that's exactly what we want to do. So let's just see. So whenever a player draws a card, that player loses 2 life. All right, so that's definitely something we want to deal with. So let's go Delay. It's just little things like that once they get on the battlefield, they just add up and add up and add up. So, all right, so we're going to go for Delay. That will be coming back soon. So at least the good thing is we do have Mystic Sanctuary to put one of these on top, and then we can kind of go from there. Now, if they have another wheel effect option, we may have to watch out. But thankfully, we at least do have River's Rebuke that's going to allow... Oh... That's not going to get it. So let's see what Fresh Grip we get, though. That might end up helping us out. So, Spell Twine, Dream Eater, Karn, and Nykthos. Okay, so that was... We have downgraded horribly from our other previous hand. And... We've got Phyrexian Metamorph on Nekusar, which man, is that something that we want to happen? Let's see what we draw into first. Yeah, because with everything getting shuffled back in, that really kind of. Ooh, Force of Will. That is a very good option to have. All right, so we're gonna have Nekusar deal an extra damage to us. That's gonna be Tezzeret, okay. So let's do this. So we're gonna go Island. That's gonna be 6 total mana. So we can flash in Dream Eater, we can Phyrexian Metamorph on Nekusar, and I think that kind of sounds pretty good. Yeah, let's just do that. That's gonna be 1, 2, 3. We're gonna Phyrexian Metamorph enter the battlefield. We're gonna have it enter the battlefield as a copy of, and that's the other thing that you can kind of jack with a Nekusar opponent is by kind of messing me up by making a copy of Nekusar on the battlefield. So let's see. They might have some counter. They're gonna go Mana Drain. Yeah, I feel like Force of Will is a good option for this. We're gonna go Mana Drain, Force of Will on Spell Twine. It's just gonna be a long time before we have an active Spell Twine. So, all right, so we're gonna go Force of Will on Mana Drain. So have Phyrexian Metamorph enter the battlefield and become a copy of Nekusar. And then I like to live dangerous, and then anything else pass turn to our opponent. So the main thing is this is our opponent is ahead on life total. They're at 30, we're at 15. So their wheel effects are going to be a little bit easier, but at least it really kind of throws everything for a wrench when you've got double card draw options, and it's just, you can really drain some stuff out pretty quick. So now, in fact, if we find Time Twister, yeah, we'll have to see exactly how we want to set this up, but let's get the double triggers going for sure. But as far as the rest of the Thunder Thryx deck, it's pretty, I don't know, it's just kind of like a really tight mono blue control deck and not overbearing in a way. I mean, we are running counter magic in here. We've got Force of Will, Force of Negation, different things like that. And but it is nice having these kind of mid-rangey threats to close the game out, because Thryx is very nice. It's coming out of the command zone, flash it in for 5. You can deal with Planeswalkers, or it is about a 5-turn clock. You know, trying to get the commander damage with Thryx, but if you have some piece of equipment, you can speed it up a little bit better. But simply just being able to run stuff like Dream Eater, Aetherling, different cards like that kind of work really well with your counter magic packages that you're running with Thryx, ends up being pretty good. So, all right, opponent's going to have Omnixilus come down. Let's get this pulled over. One thing that would definitely kind of help us is a little bit of extra magic. Oh, opponent's going to go Omnixilus on Nekusar. That's a bummer. Ooh, we do run into Brainstorm, though, which will kind of allow us to get some stuff moving. In fact, let's just go and go Brainstorm right now. So we're going to go and Brainstorm. We will take some damage, but we just really need to get some stuff moving on our side. So put 2 cards on top of our library. At this point, we're going to go and put Swarm Intelligence on top. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's going to be 7 with Karn. I don't think we stick around long enough to go Swarm Intelligence and Karn. But if we're going to try to win, we might as well just do something with it. All right, so let's put a Dream Eater back on top, and then we will end up putting... Rabid buys us a little bit extra time. Ponder's going to shuffle the library up. Yeah, let's just put Dream Eater... Yeah, I think Tezzeret on top. That's going to be fine. So let's get this damage out of the way. Ooh. What really not worked, but... well, I guess worked for our opponent. It didn't work for us. Was when they went for that Time Twister. Man, that was we had some good stuff to do, but that was it. But yeah, look at this Nekusar stack. This is a beautiful stack. Let's go and always yield to that. Yield to Omnixilus, and then that way they can just watch our life total just wither away. Look at that. And basically, if they have Wheel of Fortune or anything else like that, they're going to be able to get it. So we're going to see what's going to happen. Because with Karn, we can take an extra turn, but if we just go Swarm Intelligence and we're just paying the iron price and we're just passing the turn, we're sitting at 5. And so, And then on top of that, we've got Nekusar that's going to come over here and just punch us in the face with the Skeleton Fist. All right. So we got him swinging across. We got a Skeleton Punch to the face for 2. And actually, that's going to be game because that's going to be draw step. Yeah, then they go for Guy Reach. Yeah, excuse me, Guy Reach Sanitarium. So anyway, good game to our opponent. That was a good showing. Unfortunately, it wasn't a good showing of Thryx, but I'm going to post this video up because that was a very nice. They closed it out. It's always nice to play against Nekusar, especially a Nekusar player that can close the game out. So there we go. Good game, and I will catch you in the next one. All right, bye.